So I'm gonna review Mary Poppins Returns. You know what that means? A song. Damn that editor. What's up, guys? Welcome to Movie Important's movie review of Mary Poppins Returns, the newest film from director Rob Marshall and stars Emily Blunt, Lin-Manuel-Miranda, Ben Wishaw, and Emily Mortimer. So we got the Return of Mary Poppins, a movie that came out in the '60s, very popular, very classical, very musical heavy, considered like one of the best musicals of all times. Walt Disney and P.L. Travers had a lot of issues back and forth, so there was never a sequel produced, at least until now. Apparently, this movie had the ability where the ancestors of P.L. Travers decided that they were going to allow Disney to make another movie, and here we go with Mary Poppins Returns. And Mary Poppins Returns is basically set decades after the original Mary Poppins. The two Banks siblings are now grown up. Michael Banks has three kids, a daughter and two sons. Jane Banks is basically on her own. She doesn't have a husband or anything like that. One day, Michael Banks, he gets visited by these auditors who come and tell him that he's going to lose his house in 5 days if he doesn't force to pay up the money and so on and so forth. And so they have to figure out how to get that money to pay for the house that they've grown up in all their lives and lived in. Of course, the way things go, the Banks household's a mess. Everything's gone to crap. And here we get Mary Poppins, this time played by Emily Blunt. So the interesting thing about Mary Poppins is I've never been the biggest Mary Poppins fan. It's not that I don't like the movie. It's just I never really got into it. Maybe it's because I didn't hit the right time or I didn't have, that culture of Mary Poppins. I know it was very popular. Julie Andrews is supposed to be amazing in it, and she kind of was. It had Dick Van Dyke, who was the chimney sweep, but I just never connected to it. So I'm going into this movie going, maybe it'll be good, maybe it won't. I don't know. It looks good from what I've seen from the trailers. And it's exactly what you want from a Mary Poppins sequel. It's charming, it's elegant. Emily Blunt is doing an amazing job as Mary Poppins. Lin-Manuel Miranda is doing a nice job as the updated chimney sweep. But the movie feels kind of the same. It feels like, Mary Poppins is there to, get everything together and everything put back together correctly. And that's not necessarily a bad thing because the musical numbers are fantastic and like the visual effects are fantastic. They do a lot of cool animation styles. And this really feels like it could have been a true sequel. I mean, it is a true sequel, but a true sequel back in the '60s or '70s if they had ever done a sequel. And Emily Blunt as Mary Poppins is somewhat really charming. She's actually really good in this movie. She's fun, she's energetic, she's proper. She just gives that charisma, and every time she's on screen, she's doing a nice job, and she's doing an Oscar-worthy performance, which I'm pretty sure she's going to get an Oscar nomination for. But just her singing and how she's taking care of the new Banks children and how she's trying to set course, what went wrong, that type of situation. It's just every time she's on screen, it's just energetic, and I like that kind of stuff. Lin-Manuel Miranda, even though he pops up in weird places a lot of times, he's very energetic. He's a lot of fun. I really enjoy his vocal singing in this movie. He has some of the best numbers in this movie. Just the difference between he opens up the movie and then he has a great, sequence when they're in this like China Bowl where he does his like Hamilton hip hop style rapping, but it's done in the essence of a Mary Poppins movie. And then you got the kids who are like the main focus to Mary Poppins because Ben Washaw's character and Emily Mortimer, they're looking for this deed or this stock bond thing, and they get kind of pushed to the side. So they're there, but they're not really. Emily Mortimer gets more to do than Ben Whishaw gets to do, and it's kind of a shame because I like Ben Whishaw as an actor. I keep calling him Wishaw. But he just feels left out. But the Banks kids, the three Banks kids, are actually pretty incredible actors in this movie. They're a lot of fun to watch. For some reason Rob Marshall was able to bring out great kid acting out of these three, young kids. And I just feel like they do a nice job. They really have fun. Everybody's having fun and energetic time in this movie, and they're having the most fun because they're the main crux of, Ben Wishaw's or Michael Banks's character. And I enjoy that kind of thing. But when you get into the Ben Whishaw character and Colin Firth in this movie is like the son or cousin or whatever nephew of the main character, that was kind of like the guy that Dick Van Dyke is portraying in this movie, Mary Poppins Returns. He just doesn't feel necessary at all to this movie. And Ben Whishaw could have done better if they would just focus, because he lost his wife. If they had just focused on that instead of this lost deed where he's going to lose his house, because it does take away from everything that the movie's trying to do. And I think it could have been a little bit better and represented a little bit better. But when they get into like the animation sequence in this movie, it's awesome. It reminds you of what you saw in the 60s movie. It has that old school Disney feel to it. And the movie has that Disney feel to it, even though it's a lot of it feels staged. But that's the way musicals in the 60s and 50s and all that, they felt staged, but they also had a lot of fun with what they were doing. And this movie does just that. And like I said, all the characters are having a lot of fun. And then just the atmosphere and just the look of London. And I think this movie takes place in the 40s, maybe somewhere around there, maybe the 30s. But it's just a beautiful looking movie. And Rob Marshall knows how to choreograph movies, and, look at movies like Chicago and Into the Woods. And it's just, he knows what he's doing when it comes to, you know, choreographing. And that's why this movie has a lot of fun and looks as good as it does. But like I said, it's a recommend. It's a good holiday film. It's a great family film. Everybody's having fun. Meryl Streep pops up in an interesting role that I wasn't too smithered on, but she still is having a lot of fun. So, but there you go. That's gonna be my take on Mary Poppins Returns. Definitely worth a look, but it's depending on if you like Mary Poppins. So, but as always, if you like what you see, remember to rate, subscribe, check out the YouTube channel, Facebook, and Twitter. Email nlapolo113@gmail.com if you have any questions. Comment below what you think about Mary Poppins. If it's not your cup of tea, if it is, tell me what one of your favorite songs is. But yeah, I would like to know. But otherwise, you guys have a great day, and we'll see you in the next video. Peace.
Hide under the covers, you might never see the day. But if a spark can start inside your heart, then you can always find the way.